Hello, thanks for tuning in to Fishing on the Fly. This show is sponsored by the Northern Kentucky Fly Fishers. Our club promotes the sport of fly fishing through leadership and participation in educational, conservation, and preservation activities, and we even manage to get in a little fishing. If you'd like more information about local fly fishing activities or about our club, visit this website.
Hi, my name is Jeff Johnson. I'm a member of the Northern Kentucky Fly Fishers, also a member of the Madmen chapter of Trout Unlimited, and you're watching Fishing on the Fly. Today we're on the Mad River in central Ohio. It's Ohio's premier trout stream, and we're just west of Urbana on State Route 36. The first part of today's show will involve stream water quality monitoring, or counting the aquatic macroinvertebrates, or insects in the river. The second part will be Tom Allen discussing some of the projects going on the MAD, including replacing and renewing fish habitat. The third part will be local fly fishing expert Michael Schmitt putting some of his good fly fishing skills and knowledge to use. Insect life is a vital indicator to the health of a river. Fish need insects to survive. The insects in turn need good oxygenated water, gravel, rocks to live on. Some of these insects live in the river for a year or more before they emerge into airborne insects, mate, and die. Today, we'll be sampling a 3-foot by 3-foot section of the stream bottom using a kick seine. After collecting the insects, we'll take them up to shore and split them off into sampling trays based on the different species. Then we'll count how many we have, use a formula, and come up with a stream water quality index rating. Let's go join Jorge Villares and Michael Schmitt at today's sampling location. So we're going to sample a 3 by 3 foot spot on the bottom. Where we set up, Mike? Between you guys or on the other side of you? Right in here. What we want is a spot that is representative of the entire riffle stretch. So it's got a mix of softball-sized rocks, gravel, and they're gonna grab anything that's 2 inches or bigger and rub it down with their hands. And once they've done that, they're going to do a foot shuffle. And in that same 3 by 3 foot spot, they're going to kind of twist their feet down 2 or 3 inches into the stream bed. And we're going to collect every bug we can in this net. Then we'll go up on the shore and we'll separate it out into the trays. As a fisherman, if you want to see what some of the fish are eating, find a riffle such as this, about 9 inches deep, and just grab a rock off the bottom. Grab one at random. This one happens to be full of eggs. I don't know what kind, but it's full of eggs. I can see a case caddis on here. I see a lot more case caddis on the other side. Here's a caddis that's out. Oftentimes you'll get a bunch of mayflies on these too. So in doing that, you'll know what the fish are seeing. Might give you an idea of what kind of fly you should tie on. This rock too, it's covered with case caddis. See a row of about 8 of them right here. Here's another group of them. If you can see the little green bug right here, that's a caddis. It's not in a case. We'll lay this out. And we've got some trays with some water here. Anything in here that moves, we want to go ahead and put into one of these trays. And as we move along, I'll start pointing out what we're getting here. If you can, keep them kind of the similar looking bugs in the same compartments. Go ahead and dip them in there. Yeah. There's a caddis. It's got the greenish color to it. It's a caddis larva. Oh, there we go. That's probably a March brown in May. These look like little pebble houses. What these are case caddis. So on the bottoms of some rocks, we found one that had about 3 dozen of these packed up real close side by side. And the caddis will build little They gather little bitty pebbles and build a house, and they'll live in that and just come out to scrape food when they need. A caddis is one of the main foods that a trout eats. It's a fly that when it emerges, it looks somewhat like a moth. They'll emerge for a good part of the year. There's small black flies. There's some greenish bodied ones, tan bodied ones. They'll start emerging from now, probably through September. And if I were to break one of these little pebbles open, we'd see a little larva inside. Here we've got some type of an aquatic macroinvertebrate attempting to emerge here on my sweatshirt. You can see it's shuck that it's trying to escape from, trailing behind it. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It's probably going to be either a damselfly or some type of a mayfly. The wings, which you can't see, are going down each side of it. So if it finds a suitable place to dry those, they'll slowly open up. Really, for grading the assessment quality of the water, there's three categories that we put the insects into, or the macroinvertebrates into. Group one are those that need the good, clean, healthy water.
Right here.
Like I mentioned, the stoneflies, caddisflies, mayflies, the riffle beetles. Group two are those that can tolerate a little more pollution, still needs a little bit of clean water in there. That would include your crane flies, crayfish, sow bugs, at least on this river. And then in the third category are those that can tolerate a little bit more pollution. That would include leeches, midges, a certain type of snail. Now that we're finished separating everything into sampling trays, the next step is to count the different insects by their category and come up with a total score. What we got today falls into the good range, which is about what I would expect at this location. We've been doing this here for 7 or 8 years, so we have a good history of data that we've recorded. If we come up with a score that's a lot lower than we expect, that gives us some information we can take to the proper authorities to help investigate what the problem is. Coming up next will be habitat restoration and how these projects are improving the quality and the quantity of fish and insects here on the Mad River.
Hi, I'm Tom Allen, and I represent the fly fishing clubs from Columbus, Dayton, Cincinnati, and Northern Kentucky, as well the Mad Men chapter of Trout Unlimited on the watershed board for Mad River. And we support a lot of different activities, including cleanups on the river, education. And one of the things that we have been instrumental in is working on in-stream habitat improvement. One of the problems with Mad River is it's been channelized and levied where the in-stream habitat will not hold. And here today we've been cabling in logs, and what we do is trying to create the in-stream habitat and create more of a natural meander. We actually take what is called a duckbill anchor, and we place the pile driver rod in this and then drive it down about 4 or 5 feet into the stream substrate. Once it's down there, the anchor actually, we pull up and it holds. And then we take the cable, pull it up over the log, and we clip it down, and this will hold it in place. If we did not do this, these logs will basically, in high water, basically float away. So this is the way we create the in-stream habitat improvement. We actually also add rock and cobble to create riffle areas, and it improves not only the fishery for the trout, but also it improves for all aquatic life.
Jeff Johnson here. Good, abundant habitat is essential to a healthy river system. Fish and aquatic insects need good in-stream habitat just like we need our own homes for food, safety, shelter. The projects Tom Allen has talked about are entirely done through volunteer work coordinated by the Mad Men chapter of Trout Unlimited and the Mad River Steering Committee. If you would like more information on the Mad River, whether it be fishing or even to volunteer some of your own time, please visit the website on your screen. These web pages have lots of information on the Mad River, including contacts, calendar of events, maps, pictures, fishing reports. Speaking of fishing, let's go see how Michael Schmitt's doing on one of his favorite spots on the river.
Hi, well, my name is Michael Schmitt. I'm here at the Mad River in Central Ohio. I am an active member of Trout Unlimited as well as the Director of Education for the newly reformed Central Ohio Fly Fishers. And today what we're going to do is work on a few different casting techniques as well as a few different fly patterns and how to fish them. Some of the common ideas that we use to fish here at the Mad. So here we go. Well, I'm fishing, it's effectively called short line nymphing because I really don't have a whole lot of back cast room. I'm fishing a 2-fly rig, fishing a Hendrickson emerger about 2.5 feet back of an indicator, and 18 inches behind that I'm fishing a copper john, one size smaller. And what I'm doing with these on a short line rig is trying to fire them in right along the bank underneath the camera. There's a fast column of water coming along that's 18 inches to 24 inches away from the bank. And a lot of those fish are going to hold up right up against the bank in that slow water, right along the edge of that current, so they can just nab whatever happens to come by in that fast current without expending too much energy of their own. And if you get through what's about an 8 to 10 foot section of water here up to this tree trunk, underneath that tree trunk I'm sure there's an undercut bank holding plenty of fish. And if we can get the fly right in that zone, they might come up from under that tree trunk, which is probably where the bigger fish are sitting in the shade and out of the current. When you're stuck in tight positions like this, you really can't make the prettiest casts some of the time. So what I'm trying to do on a few of these here is let the line go downstream with a little tension. And instead of false casting your typical position, you know, your 10 to 2, I'm going to cast almost a sidearm to get underneath the tree. And it's kind of like a pseudo spade cast almost, because you're not allowing the line to go to its full extension to load the rod. What you're essentially doing is getting the line to curve in the air and allowing the air pressure against the line to load the rod just enough to shoot it. And I'm only having to shoot this line out here about 15 to 20 feet. And this is really the only way I can figure to get the line underneath that tree without landing it in one of these branches. And in these windy conditions, it helps to keep the line real low to the water. There we go. That's a nice fish. Oh, hey! He doesn't want to come over here. It's a real nice fish. Looks like it's another rainbow. Some of this extra line in so I can play him off the reel. There we go. Whew. Come on, buddy. Stay out of that hole. Perfect upper lip hook. All right. Part of the reason a lot of the fish are holing up in this particular spot, aside from the shade and the slow water, is the depth. There used to be a bit of an obstruction just upstream here, and it caused it to really have a good run. And along that bank there, the water in most of this stretch of the river is only a foot to maybe 18 inches deep. But in this run here, it cuts down to upwards of 6 or 7 feet right underneath the tree. When that deep water, that gets a little cooler for them, so they've got more holding water there, in addition to, again, being a little more out of the current. What I'm going to do is give it a cast upstream to guys give it a nice long natural presentation into this pool. I might catch the fish right here that has been rising, and he wanted it. So we'll try that again after I let it drift through here, and if it gets by him, then it's going to go right back into this pool again. And there was another fish that went to take it. I think they caught on to our game. There we go. Woo! Yeah! He's at the back end of the pool. Nice fish. Coming right at me. We fished out the front end of this pool, so I moved back a little bit. I'll bring this guy in. One of the things I'm doing here, as far as not having pressure from my side of the line, one of the things that's going to cause pressure is if you get a loop in your line in the water pressure against the line is going to unnaturally pull the fly. So to get around that as a problem, you do what's called mending. And as a loop starts to form, you essentially pick up the slack line and place it back behind the fly. And you can continually do loop mends by getting extra slap line and passing it back on down the line, so that you never at any time have pressure on the line going towards the fly. So that again, anytime you see any movement on your strike indicator, it's going to be caused by something on the fly side as opposed to on the rod side.
Jeff Johnson here again. Micro simplifies mending. That's a technique not a lot of fly fishermen learn how to do. But if you're going to fish for trout on moving water, learning to mend your line is very important. Your fly will drift more naturally and you'll catch more fish. Speaking of catching fish, coming up next are some pictures of trout caught on the Mad River.
Hi, I'm Joe Jackman, President of Northern Kentucky Fly Fishers. I hope you enjoyed our program and learned something about fly fishing today. If you have questions about Northern Kentucky Fly Fishers or about fly fishing in general, call the number on your screen or visit our website. Our website has tremendous information on club activities, links to other interesting websites, and we also publish our monthly newsletter there as well. Make sure you register in our guest book. We'd love to hear from you. And if you have a suggestion for a future show or something you'd like to see, let us know that as well. Please remember to protect our resources by practicing catch and release, and take a child or a spouse or a friend fishing with you. So long and good fishing.
Hey, Billy Bass here. Coming up next is Tui. Must have got a frog caught in my throat. Get it? Frog, throat, you know I'm a bass. You humans probably don't understand fish humor anyway. Okay, Let's do them lines over again. I think I'm ready. Ready on the set. Take 2. Billy Bass introduction to bloopers. Hey, Billy Bass here. Coming up next is some real funny stuff. Bloopers. Watch them humans flub their lines and lose their fish. It's pretty dang funny. I hope you enjoy it.
Take 5. All right, there's a middle category of bugs, or macroinvertebrates, kind of between that requires the good, clean water and can tolerate polluted water. That would include your crayfish, stoneflies.
Take 22.
It's hard to talk when it's all scripted, you know. Oh, the big worm-like things.
Those things, yeah.
Crane flies. All right, do that again. My mind went blank. Blah, 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 blah.
Your dad needs to get these lines right.
Not a lot. Okay. And you're watching Fishing on the Fly. We're going to redo this.
Yeah.
I don't know if I got that or not. That'll be interesting. That'll be interesting.